Indomitable thoughts back. Men going their own way is an amazing discovery for me. But boy, I wish I'd discovered it earlier. Even though I discovered it pretty young for a guy. Like, there's a lot of guys who discover MGTOW in their 30s, 40s, 50s, often after they're divorced and have to pay child support and are basically chained down by a lot of things. Whereas with me, I have more opportunities because I'm younger and I'm not chained down by marriage or child support or even a relationship right now. And to be honest, it affords you quite a degree of freedom to be in a position where you're single, even though sometimes it can be quite lonely. And loneliness used to paralyze me. It really did. Before I discovered MGTOW, I was just a wreck. I was a mental wreck. And I was a pussy beggar. There's just no other way of saying it. I wasn't the biggest mangina out there, but I was definitely led by my little head, especially in puberty when I was denied and cruelly rejected by so many women and turned down by several Ameriskanks who talked behind my back. And I wasn't really raised with the idea of how to be a man, what being a man really entails. I was raised indoctrinated by school, kind of indoctrinated by my family, that you have to be this sort of gender-neutral guy. You still have to be a man in the provider sense, but you're not allowed to be a man in the sexual sense and the power sense. No, that's the responsibility of the state and the matriarchy and your mom and all the women you know. They are the ones who are supposed to lead. You just take your back seat and support. You don't take the lead. You're just supposed to be a mangina who bootlicks women. And I was raised with those beliefs, and it's extraordinarily toxic for a guy, especially a guy who has difficulties getting laid. You just become this pathetic bootlicker who services women, helps them out with things, helps fix their computers and helps them do their homework, and often they're out banging some other guy and going out with their friends, and when they don't have anything else to do, they hang out with you and you get to hear their sob stories. Of course, I'm sure people have heard about this story over and over again about what women use manginas for, but with me, it was just extremely toxic because I needed the female validation. I needed the love. I had a strong feeling for affection, and I still do, but it's controlled. Whereas in the past, it wasn't. It was something that was completely wild and untamed and threatened to just topple me, and it almost did. After years of being in that mentality, you just change, and you don't change into something good. I was going through high school being more or less a mangina. Went through college more or less a mangina. Did some fucked up things to myself. And here I am. Still pretty much in the same position, objectively speaking, as I was years ago. But mentally, I'm in a much better place than I was even a few months ago. And a lot of that has to do with my change in mentality. Men going their own way is just it's an amazingly powerful thing for a man to discover. Once you liberate yourself from the idea that you absolutely need pussy to survive, or even the idea that you need pussy to mentally survive without turning into a basket case. Once you liberate yourself of that idea, it's so relieving and so relaxing. And in my opinion, you even set yourself on the course. If you have difficulty dating women, you set yourself on the course of being able to actually date women without being desperate or supplicating or appearing desperate or supplicating with your mannerisms, which is quite easy to pick up on if you're inexperienced. And so in a way, the men going your own way philosophies help you with women, even though it's just it's a philosophy meant to help deal with the damage that women cause. So it's good. It's empowering, and I don't like really using the word empowering because the feminists have toxified it and abused it to such an extent. But in this sense, it's the proper word to use. It's like the word progressive. Liberals have kind of tainted that word. Progressive means progress. It doesn't mean pushing a liberal hyper-PC agenda. Much with empowerment. Empowerment means gaining control over yourself, as opposed to, trying to dominate someone else. It's just such a relief. It's difficult to describe once you actually get it. Of course, that's another problem. You have to get it. You can't just, see a few MGTOW things and read up on a few things. Like, your mind will just stay programmed in that mode. You have to actually see, aha, this is what happened. Oh, I see how this related to an experience I had in life. Ah, I see. As opposed to just reading something obliquely and blankly and being like, okay, some guys got screwed over, they're pissed off. Okay, whatever, how does this help me? Because that's the way I was in the past. If you showed me men going their own way materials even a year or two ago, I would have maybe taken a cursory glance at it, but I would have scoffed at the idea that you can go without female approval or affection for extended periods of time and not turn into a complete basket case. I would have scoffed at it. It was just like a totally unacceptable idea to me. And I think the biggest hurdle to get over is to make the mental jump. Like, ignore that visceral reaction that is almost, that reaction has been pre-programmed. And one of the most powerful things that feminists have is their ability to brainwash men into thinking that they need pussy to stay sane. It is a huge piece of misinformation that is just spewed out all the time by all the media outlets, even by schools, by families, by women, by manginas, by everyone basically. And it's very, very difficult to deprogram yourself when all this stuff is constantly blasted at you. Like, that's how propaganda works. People constantly say something, they tell a lie over and over and over and over again, to the point where people forget that it's a lie, and they internalize that lie. And that's something that men going their own way has a very uphill battle in fighting. But the guys who can see through it and actually relate their experiences and say, aha, that I saw this, things make sense now. That's when you actually learn that it's not a bunch of BS, that it's not just a bunch of preposterous or outrageous stuff. That's when you learn that MGTOW is actually quite founded in truth, and not just some thing dreamed up by quote-unquote deadbeat dads or bachelor lifestyle propagandists or whatever other labels that feminists try to put on the men going their own way movement. So yeah, it's an uphill battle, but you just have to clue bat people with facts, and people who are more willing to be clue batted, that is, people who've gotten burned and are trying to look for solutions, they're the ones who get it. Ones who realize that they're being gamed, that it's not their mind that's doing it, it's outside trickery and manipulation that's causing them to feel so bad. Indomitable Thoughts, out.